All right, here we want to talk about locking in a schedule. So again, we're starting with our same default spreadsheet. Everything was cool other than in our previous videos, we saw we had some conflicts out here related to the team lead position just because we didn't have enough of them. So we're going to resolve that conflict now. We're going to go back to the names and we're going to take John Wayne and we're going to make him a team lead. So there should be plenty of them now. And I'm going to go back to my grid assigned name ID, and I don't see any conflicts throughout the whole schedule. So that's cool. And I've gone back to everybody in my business and I've asked them for vacations and everybody said this was cool, and I've exported it to a Google Calendar and I've shared it and I said that's the schedule. And I've locked that in. So I want to save that now. So I want to come back over to the flat assign sheet and I want to start at the upper left and I want to copy everything that the schedule has calculated for me. So I'm just marking all of these cells as far down as I want to. And I'm going to do a Control C. I've copied it to the clipboard and I'm going to come over here to the override sheet and I'm going to select the first cell there and I'm going to do a paste special values. And it's going to fill in exactly what I saw on the flat assign sheet over here in the override sheet. And if I go back to flat assign, go back to the top, you'll see now that there's an override ID in there. And anytime this calculation sees an override ID, it's just going to take that ID regardless of whether they can work that day or not. You as the scheduler have determined that's the right person to assign in each of these slots, and that's what's going to be assigned. So that's locked in for the next 3 months. What I might want to do is save this file and create a new version of it. And I can make that for the following 3 months out into the future after this one's done. But inevitably, somebody's going to come back and say, oops, I forgot to tell you, Charlie Chaplin's going to come along and say, I have vacation scheduled that I didn't tell you about before. And it's going to be from 7/1/2021 through, he's taking a whole month off, 7/30/2021. Spell right. Okay, so Charlie Chaplin came in late in the day after the schedule was already communicated and said, look, I can't do those dates. So that was going to regenerate the schedule, but it didn't get a chance to because all these overrides are in here. So what we have to do is come into the override area and let's look for, what was Charlie Chaplin? He was ID number 9. And we're going to look for ID number 9. And these are all the times that we had previously scheduled him. And look, a bunch of them were in his vacation range from July 1st through the 30th. So we're going to take all those and we're just going to delete, we're not going to delete the row, but we're going to blank out Charlie Chaplin's assignments everywhere in July. And what that will cause to happen is back on the flat assign sheet, everywhere that Charlie had been previously assigned in July. This is June, so we'll go over to, see July. He won't be in there anymore, and somebody else will have been put in his place. Here's a blank. That's where he was previously, so now number 11 got put in there. And we would see a bunch more blanks. He was previously here. Number 11 got chosen again. He was previously here, number 12 got chosen, so on and so forth. He was here, number 16 got chosen. Right? So we now have a new schedule. We have to repost it, recommunicate it. Perhaps, that was the only change we were going to see, so we want to just, where were those blanks? Maybe we just need to tell number 11, 12, and 16, hey, we've given you some days that Charlie Chaplin is now on vacation. So Claudette, Edward, Jean, you're going to be working these days. And that's the end of our communication. Everybody's happy, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of need to now relock this in, especially if they've agreed to these. So what we want to do is take these. We can actually do the whole thing again. There's two ways around this. We could just take these new dates, copy them, paste them over at the bottom of the override sheet, or we can just relock in the whole schedule. Let's try that approach. So I'm going to unselect that. I'm back to everybody is selected. Go all the way to the bottom, copy all that, come back over to the override sheet, and I'm just going to paste over the top of everything. Paste special values. Bonk. I think I just pasted a little bit too far. Yeah, I only meant to go to here. So let me undo that. Undo, so I didn't want that column to be pasted over there. Go back to flat assign. Let me just get that. Copy that to the clipboard. I did a Control C. Go back to override. First one, paste special values. All right, so now I have relocked in the schedule, and the same activity could happen again. Somebody else could come along and say, look, personal issues, I can't work Fridays anymore. James Cagney, who happens to be a team lead, that's a key position. Oh, sorry, can't work Friday. That would generate a new schedule. He was number 24, I'd go back into override, I'd pick out number 24. And I'd also want to pick out any time it was a Friday, which I don't think I can easily do that. Yeah, no. I'd have to do some formula. So I'll just pick out all the 24s. I can visually go down and pick out the Fridays and blank those rows out and let it schedule somebody else and then come back in and repeat the whole exercise of relocking it in. I think you're kind of getting the flavor here. I mean, this is going to happen. People are not going to give you all the information that's going to be valid for two or three full months. They're going to come back with changes to their life, and that's going to generate a new schedule. And so we can just generate the whole schedule if we want. We can delete everything on the override tab. You just go down to the bottom and say, look guys, 2 or 3 people have come back and given me changes, and I don't want to go through this hassle, so I'm just going to have it regenerate a whole schedule, which it just did with James Cagney not working on a Friday anymore. And it potentially threw everybody into different spots. And so you can go through the process of recommunicating that, exporting it to the calendars, printing some of these reports, telling everybody, here's the new schedule, lock it in, don't lock it in, whatever you want to do. But I mean, this is part of the job as a scheduler. So hopefully that is clear.